Thanks for staying with us on Live and Breaking. I'm Nivedna Prabhu. Breaking news coming in. This one is from Maharashtra, where Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has called for a meeting with his leaders today evening. Now, the final decision to be taken whether to approach the Supreme Court against the Bombay High Court order to grant Shivaji Park permission to Uddhav's camp. Now, this, of course, comes after the fact that both these factions, that is Shinde's camp as well as Uddhav's camp, were seeking for permission to hold the Dasara rally on October 5th. Now, of course, on the other hand, the Thackeray faction did get permission, but setting Eknath Shinde's camp on a back foot. So, in tandem and in viewpoint of the same, the Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has called for a meeting with his leaders today. That's the latest development after that decision came in. Now, this, of course, is in the purview of the particular fact that the High Court had rejected Shinde's camp's Dasara rally plans at Shivaji Park. For more information on this, we're joined in by Alisha. Alisha, the latest that we understand is that this meeting is going to be held today evening. But what are the other details that we're getting? They're also looking to approach the Supreme Court against the order of the Bombay High Court. So, what are the details that we have about this?
Well, yes, it's a Chief Minister Eknath Shinde who has called for his meeting at his residence in Mumbai, where they are going to take a final decision whether to approach Supreme Court against the order of Bombay High Court granting permission for Uddhav Thackeray camp to organize the Dasara rally in Shivaji Park. We know that the two applications that was given to BMC, one from Uddhav Thackeray camp and one from the Eknath Shinde camp, to organize and get a permission to organize the Dasara rally in Shivaji Park on 5th of October. But citing law and order, where the BMC has clearly rejected both the application, after which Uddhav Thackeray camp has approached Bombay High Court, clearly mentioning there will be no matter of the law and order. That is something going to take care by the Maharashtra government. And since looking at the point that was made from the Uddhav Thackeray camp and the advocates who were present before the court, the direction that has been given by Bombay High Court, which clearly says that now BMC has to, the new application that has to be filed by Uddhav Thackeray camp to the BMC, and the permission has to be given, citing where the government will look after the law and order situation. Moreover, now it is something the Eknath Shinde camp, which now they are going to approach the Supreme Court against the order of the Bombay High Court, where the granting, because at a certain point where Eknath Shinde camp has already get a permission to organize the Dasara rally in BKC. But the first priority, whether to the Uddhav Thackeray or whether to the Eknath Shinde, is the Shivaji Park. Now at a point where the Bombay High Court has given a permission to organize rally in Shivaji Park, now the Eknath Shinde camp is going to approach Supreme Court against the order of the Bombay High Court, and that is where Eknath Shinde has called for an important meeting this evening with all his leaders, how to go with the court to the Supreme Court, and whether to really to approach or not, because even they have a permission to organize the Dasara rally in BKC, but the first priority is Shivaji Park.
Alisha, talking about the Shivaji Park, this entire, of course, fact that both these factions have, are at loggerheads clearly to be conducting this Dasara rally. But walk us through the fact that what is the significance of Shivaji Park for the Shiv Sena camp in particular? Because on one hand, of course, like you stated, they also, on the other hand, the Shinde camp got permission to be holding it in BKC. But coming back to talking about Shivaji Park, if you could walk us through that and give us details in terms.
Well, yes, Dasara rally is something being organized by Shiv Sena, and that all started with Bhaiyasaheb Thackeray. We even know that every year since the past 2 years, because of the pandemic, it could not be happen and never organized because of the pandemic. But now this is the first where after the 2 years of break, where the Uddhav Thackeray is going to address a public rally that has been called as a Dasara rally, and specifically Shivaji Park, the name that was given as a Shiv Tirtha by Bhaiyasaheb Thackeray, and it is something a legacy of the Shiv Sena. But looking at the situation specifically in the state of Maharashtra, where the Shiv Sena has been divided into the two factions. One is the Uddhav Thackeray faction, and the second is a Eknath Shinde faction. Moreover, when it comes to the real Shiv Sena, because Dasara rally is something, and specifically talking about the Shiv Tirtha, where it has been organized, that is a Shivaji Park in Dadar, is something very significant. And of course, it is something for the people who are in a Shiv Sena and has given a support to Shiv Sena, and the specifically the name. We know that the case is with the Supreme Court and also the Election Commission, who will also look into it, whether the fact which is the real Shiv Sena. But when it comes to the public, and it's really going to give a very big impact, where the celebration has also held when the Bombay High Court given a permission to Uddhav Thackeray camp to organize, because this is something they come up even in the social media clearly mentioning the Bombay High Court decision specifically gives a motivation to the even people, the one who has been supporting Uddhav Thackeray since the time Eknath Shinde has made it his own faction and came into the power with the Bharatiya Janata Party. But now where this fight for the Shiv Tirtha, that is Shivaji Park, is going to get intense, because it was the first priority. We know that the BKC was an optional for both the faction, whether it is Uddhav Thackeray camp, even they have filed an application to the BKC, and also where the Eknath Shinde. But as rather the fact whether Eknath Shinde has given the first request and the application to the BKC, whether permission has been granted. But here comes the BMC, which has already involved a home department, but citing law and order, where they rejected. But now the meeting will be very important, and they are really going to approach Supreme Court to get the Shiv Tirtha, that is Shivaji Park, to organize the Sera rally.
All right, thank you, Alicia, for getting us all those details. Now, this, of course, is about the fact that Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, has called for a meeting today. This is in discussion of the Dasara rally, which, of course, the Bombay High Court had spoken about the fact, or rather given the order that it was in the favor of the Shiv Sena camp. But looks like the Shinde camp, of course, is looking very closely at this. We'll continue to track that story and get more developments.